Welcome Internet, this is Jimmy's Garage, and today we're going to go over a couple things with the JL, install a couple things. If you're like us and have a JL and installed an aftermarket lift, then you might be experiencing some bow problems. Knock! Draw! Loose! You missed. Not those type of bow problems. More specifically, the bowing of the actual spring on the JL. You'll notice here that the coil spring itself is bowed out away from the Jeep, and in our particular case it's annoying, especially because the spring itself will catch on the bump stop bracket, and when it does this it makes a horrible popping noise, which is very annoying and frustrating. So we are going to fix that today. So we're going to fix that bowing problem today with Daystar's correction kit. They actually make this for JLs that have aftermarket lifts or just stock height. So we're going to install these and hopefully get that problem resolved. First step you're going to do is lift up the Jeep, get it on some nice jack stands. Get you a guy in an awkward suit that does that for you, and then we'll take off the tires. After you've jacked up the Jeep, it's important to put up some jack stands underneath the frame itself.
Pull it a little outward.
It's important to do this because once you install that, once you put the jack stands underneath, then you can let the suspension droop and take the tires off, which will allow us to pull out the coil springs. It's important when you're taking the tires off, remember, all back, no legs. Oh God, it's gonna kill me. With a 21mm socket, go ahead and start with disconnecting the track bar. After you've got the tires off, we'll then disconnect the sway bars and shocks, and we'll get the axle drooped.
I don't think it's gonna fit in here. You'll have to use a regular torque wrench.
With your 18mm socket, go ahead and remove the lower shock mount, the lower shock bolt, the lower part of the shock. No, go ahead and remove that. Again, this will all help you in drooping the axle. Once we've got the axle drooped all the way out, we'll pull the actual spring out and the stock rubber isolators and replace them with the Daystar isolators. So got everything disconnected. The sway bar link is disconnected, the shock mount is disconnected, so we can go ahead and droop the axle down to get the coil spring out.
Let me just warn y'all, you're going to be hitting your head on this fender right here 12 times during this procedure.
Once you've got the screw for the bump stop
Extension
removed, go ahead and remove the spring and then take off the stock isolators, and then you'll replace the isolators with the Daystar ones and then button it back up. It's never a Jeep project unless you hit your head on the fender flare 4 times and you're running back and forth between the Jeep and tool bench 18 times.
All in all, that went way smoother than it should have done. Where are you going, Sunshine?
Got one more pump on that bad boy.
Now do what I taught you. Get your feet on the
Yeah, I need to go higher.
Why don't you get it? Reach in that thing, turn that wheel a little bit, and I'll tell you when to stop. Try turning left a little bit. Oh. Just a tiny bit more. That's good. A little trick of the trade there.
That's a tip for free.
Tips. That'd be a tip for free. I actually learned that from Way of Life. After several years of struggling. If you like some death wall, we'll just leave this bolt loose.
Alright, now that they are installed and the weight of the vehicle is back on, the tires are back on, at first glance the springs do look straighter than they were. It's not perfect. One thing that we are missing is an adjustable track bar to recenter the axle, so that could be part of why it's still not completely straight. If you look at the stock rubber isolator, whatever you want to call it, you can see that these little notches were getting crushed, and probably explains why they were bowing out so much even. So I think it's a pretty good upgrade. Daystars were only like $42 or something like that off of Northridge. So I'm pretty happy with it. Not too bad of an install, and it seems like we are at least clearing on the bump stop bracket, so we shouldn't be experiencing that popping noise anymore. So I'd call it a great success.